sewers big time.
Uh-oh. I'd like to call this board meeting sorry. Want to shut the radios off, please?
Oh, where's my...
I would like to call this board meeting together tonight at 7 p.m., August 15th, for the Village of Carpentersville. Please call order, please.
Trustee Burroway.
Here.
Trustee Humper.
Here.
Trustee Lawrence.
Here.
Trustee Rayberg.
Here.
Trustee Sabi.
Here.
Trustee Schultz. President Skillman.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then remain standing, please, for Pastor Tom. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, we ask your continued blessing upon this board, trustees, that their hearts would be open to hear your wisdom and to apply your counsel to the very best of their ability. We're assured, too, that you are a very present help in the time of need, help that gives strength in difficult situations, help that dissolves pressures with just one word from heaven. Help us as a community to move forward, especially tonight. Help us to tap into your unlimited and infinite abilities through our prayers, through our faith, and through our convictions that the eternal rules of order and right that heaven itself has ordained would bring your wonderful and masterful touch to all that we do as we move forward together. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, we have a proclamation tonight. Trustee Burroway is going to be reading for us. Thank you.
Thank you. A proclamation, Overdose Awareness Day, August 31st, 2017. Whereas Drug Policy Alliance statistics indicate that drug overdose is the leading cause of injury-related death in the United States for people between the ages of 35 to 54, and the second leading cause of injury-related death for young people. And whereas more than 28,000 people die each year from an overdose of heroin, cocaine, prescription drugs, or other narcotics, more than the number of deaths due to guns, murders, HIV, AIDS, and whereas accidental drug overdose cases have quadrupled since 1990, and whereas International Overdose Awareness Day originally started in Australia as an initiative of the Salvation Army in the year 2001, and whereas International Overdose Awareness Day provides an opportunity for people around the world to publicly mourn loved ones by honoring and remember those who have lost their lives due to an overdose. And whereas numerous participating countries use this occasion to educate policymakers and the public about the growing overdose crisis in the United States and abroad, thereby offering concrete solutions that could possibly save lives. And whereas in 2010, Illinois enacted the Overdose Protection Law, which allows trained individuals to administer life-saving drugs in the event of an overdose. And this law would further save lives by protecting friends and family who seek medical help for those who overdose from arrest or prosecution for the possession of small amounts of drugs. Now, therefore, John Skillman, President of the Village of Carpentersville, do hereby proclaim August 31st, 2017 as Overdose Awareness Day in Carpentersville, in memory of the people who have either lost loved ones or live with permanent injuries resulting from a drug overdose. I further call upon all citizens of Carpentersville to observe August 31st as Overdose Awareness Day and support Jason Too Soon in observance of Overdose Awareness Day outside the Carpentersville Village Hall, dated and signed at the Village of Carpentersville, Kane County, Illinois, this 15th day of August 2017. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Burr. And we want to recognize our C4 members, some of our commissions here. You guys could raise your hands, please, in the crowd.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your help.
Yes, thank you.
They're doing a great job. I've been to a meeting or two, I think. I'm sorry, I need to come to more. And Chief Kilborn, I don't know where he went, but he's been helping out, and Chief Schilling helping out a lot too, getting some information so we can build some data, and we can hopefully stop overdoses in our area at least, right? So thank you. Next month, or next meeting, we're going to have the Tri-C Little League state champions here. So it looks good. We have that all set up. So that'll be our next meeting. So we'll have some more awards. As if anybody doesn't know, we had 2 teams, local teams. Actually, one of our firefighters' son was on a team that won state championship. So very exciting.
Oh, excellent.
So we're proud of him. So I'm proud of the boys. So all right, moving on. Chief Schilling, appointments.
President Skillman, trustees, tonight is a very special night for 2 of our veteran firefighters with the Carpentersville Fire Department. There'll be a promotion to the rank of lieutenant and another promotion to the rank, an appointment to the rank of battalion chief. First, I'd like to bring up Commissioner and Chairman of the Fire and Police Commissioner, James DeLong, who will be doing the swearing in. First promotion tonight is for firefighter Matthew Benson. Matt began his career about 16 and a half years ago with the Carpentersville Fire Department and spent his first 6 months as a part-time firefighter. And then actually 2 days ago, he celebrated his 16th anniversary as a career firefighter with the Carpentersville Fire Department. Matt is a very highly respected firefighter within the department and known for his vast knowledge and technical skills in firefighting and paramedicine. So with that, Commissioner DeLong. And I'd also like to introduce his wife, Courtney, who will do the badge pinning.
Didn't know there'd be
Do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the ordinances of the Village of Carpentersville,
and the ordinances of the Village of Carpentersville,
and the County of King.
and the County of Kent.
I will also abide by the rules
I also abide by the rules
and regulations of the Carpentersville Fire Department,
and regulations of the Carpentersville Fire Department,
and the orders and directives of the Chief of the Department.
the orders and directives of the Chief of the Fire Department,
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of Fire Lieutenant according to the best of my knowledge.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Fire Lieutenant according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
welcome boards. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, the next promotion is to the rank of battalion chief. Mike Peters. And Mike has been accompanied by his wife Donna, who will do the pinning of the badge. Mike began his career as a part-time firefighter in 1984. That really makes me feel old. But 1984. Spent 6 years as a part-time firefighter, and for the last 27 and a half years, he's made a career out of the fire service and protecting the village of Carpentersville and its residents. Again, Mike is a very highly respected person within the department and known for his technical rescue training and skills, and also his skills with ladder truck operations and engine company operations. So with that, Commissioner.
I, Michael Peters,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and all ordinances of the Village of Carpentersville, County of Kane.
and the ordinances of the Village of Carpentersville and the County of Kane.
I will also abide by the rules and regulations
I'll also abide by the rules and regulations
of the Carpentersville Fire Department
of the Carpentersville Fire Department
and the orders and directives of the Chief of the Department.
and the orders and the directives of the Chief of the Department.
And I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Battalion Chief
the duties of the office of Battalion Chief
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
I just want to say one thing. You want to do it up here? Pictures? Yeah, I was going to do that.
President Skillman.
Okay, I just want to say a few things. I've worked with these two guys my whole career, well, not bad my whole career, but we brought them up in the fire service, so I'm proud of them. Mike, I'm proud of you, of course. You helped me out a lot in my career. I mean, I always tell the story about, I'll tell a quick story. Over on Tulsa, we had a house hit by lightning, and it was raining, and terrible storm, and Mike brought up the truck, and, we needed someone to go to the roof, and everybody's looking at me like, I'm not going to the roof. It's lightning out, and raining. And Mike said, Mike grabbed the tools and went up there and did the job. So Mike always did the job. We always counted on him. He did a great job for us. So, do you want to introduce your dad, or you want me to, or I see him in the back, Charlie.
So you, and Lieutenant John.
This is a big moment. Come on down, Dad.
Lieutenant Charlie Peters, yes, he was my lieutenant back when I started, so. Charlie, thank you. And Mike's, Lieutenant Chief Peters' mom actually is one of our first paramedics in Carpentersville, so. So I get to see her once in a while around town walking, so. Matt, anybody else here to introduce, or you want to introduce? Great. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Chief, for coming. Thanks, everybody, for coming, Fire Department. We're going to take some pictures, take a short recess here. We're going to take a few pictures, and then if you guys want to take off, you can go outside then and
Us too?
discuss. You can go in the back room and sit. All right, short recess.
Under Rosie's, and I want to go.
You want to get in on that, huh?
So, well, I hope they.
So you want to do, John?
They control their drinking.
Meeting in the back.
Or get an Uber. The great thing with Uber.
Out here.
It's a little
Consent?
bit southwest of that, actually. I think Wildwood is very new, actually. There's a newer
Okay. Okay, the next item is consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda will be. I'm sorry. Oh, I almost skipped you. I'm sorry. I was trying. We have public comment. I'm sorry. Please keep comments to 5 minutes or less. Kelly?
We have Vicki Winter here. Vicki, if you want to come up.
I just did.
Good evening, President Skillman, trustees. Thank you for this opportunity to address the board tonight. I would like to address concerns regarding the board report on the water and sewage rate increase. I have read the board report, and I understand that costs are rising all around us. And I also am painfully aware that incomes are not, especially for the elderly and the disabled, who are on fixed incomes, who do not get raises like everybody else. For those of us, this simple 3, now 2%, according to what I've been told, it digs us deeper into poverty, which we are already in and have no way of getting out of because of the fact that we're on a fixed income. But nowhere in your report do you address the senior rate and or disabled rate. Is that going to be affected by this rate increase as well? Because if it is, you're going to be hurting your senior citizens, you're going to be hurting your disabled that are here in the village, trying to survive on what little they have. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I know that you've thought about these things, but need to be voiced. And we've got a lot of senior citizens in the village. We've got a lot of disabled veterans as well as just disabled individuals living in the village on fixed incomes that the government, not by your fault, but our federal government, are not giving us increases as well as regular companies do. I'm a veteran who is not 100% disabled, and I haven't received an increase in over 5 years. So I know the increases are coming because of rates everywhere, and we have to find money for it. But to hit the fixed income people, it's going to be hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bringing that to our attention. Appreciate that.
We have her phone number if we need to get a hold of her. Okay. The follow-up?
Yes, we do have.
Okay, thank you.
And we also had Melissa Hernandez on here for public comment, but I don't believe
I think
she's
she was
here.
unable to make it too, so.
And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on those items unless a trustee so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda.
A motion to pass consent agenda?
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Humfer, second by trustee Sabi.
Sabi.
And any discussion?
Any removals? No.
Nothing to be removed. Call a roll, please, Kelly.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
Trustee Sabi?
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg?
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Trustee Humfer?
Yes.
Trustee Burroway?
Yes.
Okay. Reports of the managers, officers, commissions, and staff. Manager Rooney?
Yes, I'd like JP, Chief Schilling, if you could introduce Matt and kind of give us the overview of the drone, if Matt's still back from the... There he is.
There he is. Yeah. President Skillman, trustees, I'd like to introduce firefighter Matt Tracy, who initiated the drone program that we are just in the infancy with. Firefighter Tracy came to me with the idea. I brought it to the village directors, and we wholeheartedly embraced the fact that this piece of technical equipment can really help public safety needs, but also has the ability to work for Public Works to show aerial views of road construction projects or any other construction project that they're working on, economic development. It can help with basically advertising the city. And we're already seeing successes with that. And tonight we really just wanted to recognize Matt for his initiative. He is the first FAA certified pilot that the village has, and right now the only one. We are having a step model being created to have other pilots certified. So with that, we do want to show a short video that Matt not only took the video with the drone, but also produced the video. So
that's pretty good. This was on Facebook.
If I can just say a few things while you're watching this. The video quality on this particular camera is a 4K quality, which is probably the highest rated commercial quality that you can get without getting into professional grade cameras. And as you can tell, the clarity of it is really amazing. Taking a video such as this and this to show the qualities of our village, and again to advertise what a great village we have, is a huge tool. And being able to take videos such as this and then placing it on social networks, the village website, using it for prospective commercial development is just a fantastic tool, yet alone all the public safety features.
Is that sound from the drone?
Yeah.
And if I could add, that girl went missing in Carpentersville, and the drone was brought out when seconds count. They didn't have to use the drone, but that would have been huge if they were able to utilize that if things didn't turn out the way they did. And then also for issues where you may have to go into a home, not knowing what the situation is, you can use the droid for that as well.
Right. There's many aspects and many different variants of what we can use the drone for.
Send it in.
Again, the advertisement thing is great, you know. But the other thing was just today, we actually used it on an actual event when the police department was looking for a subject that they could not find. We actually went out, launched the drone. We were unable to find him with the drone, unable to find him period, but we did find a lot of places that the person wasn't. So.
I saw in Good Morning America where, like, if they had like a shooter in the school, where they would actually could take the drone in and look before the police went in to see who's in the hall or if there's somebody in the hall, and how they would use that for that situation.
Yeah, again, the biggest thing is there's so many different aspects of how we can use this relatively small tool, but a highly technical tool. So, again, the impetus of tonight was just to introduce Matt, and if you want to say just a brief statement.
The only real statement I have is I'd like to thank the board for supporting this project. This is hopefully the beginning. We introduced this because there's some lot cooler toys, so to speak, that you could use that could give us a lot better capabilities of searching for people, of helping save lives. They do take some more money. At some point, there will be some more proposals. But I believe that what we've done so far is great. I think that the board, I hope that you guys support it greatly. If you have any questions, you can find me at any time.
Can I ask you a question now?
Yes.
Do you have a background in this?
No background at all. Okay. The village sent me to a short 2-day, 16-hour class. I did some learning there. I studied a lot on my own. The test is a lot harder than I thought it might have been at first.
The FAA test.
The FAA test encompasses a lot, but it really is
yes
a good thing to do. And so I didn't have any before this, so I'm learning as we go. That's why the beginning video didn't have sound and video. I'm learning how to do that as we go too. So.
And the transition, you're smoother as a pilot. We can tell.
Yes, yes.
Is there night vision on that?
This one does not. It is possible to get cameras with night vision. They start in the $4,000 to $5,000 and go up to the $10,000 range for the camera itself. That's generally the most expensive part of a drone. So.
Is the camera connection. But I'd like, Chief and Matt, we should remind the board and the citizens at home that the firefighters voted with the foreign fire insurance, I think 1,000 out of the 2,500. So it was split between the foreign fire insurance and then the IT department.
And then we got some money from the Moose. I
Yes,
believe that we put
I
towards
think we
that.
did, yes.
$500 as well, so. Perfect.
So it wasn't, this first drone is very cost-effective to the overall budget with that $1,000 contribution out of the foreign fire insurance that the firemen vote on how to expend, as long as it's kind of for the fire department and the village equipment. So that was a really good cooperative effort by the firemen individually, and then Matt stepped up to be the pilot. And we have 2 in the police department that are actually rated FAA pilots for fixed wing that are also going to go to the class. But the flying part isn't going to be their difficulty. It's going to be the rules and regulations, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're checking in with our carrier to make sure we've got the right coverage, because Matt brought to my attention the limitations he has with the FAA on flying over crowds of people.
Yep.
So we're very cognizant of the limitations that we have to follow.
Yes, with the FAA comes many rules and regulations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to bring Matt forward so the board would know we have our first test pilot, and he's done a really good job, and he's very motivated to do this. And when he comes in on other hours, remember we passed the 25G funding, and so it's not like everything's on overtime when he's not on duty. 7G. Money. $25 an hour instead of.
Yes.
Man, all of this I know is on YouTube, right?
Many of our videos are, yes.
Okay, all right.
A sampling of everything we've done is on the village's YouTube page.
Okay.
So,
Because-
and they've been shared. The people that we bought the drone from saw the video. They've shared it. I know tons of people have shared it. So the community in Carpentersville really is getting a lot of positive publicity out of this.
Matt, do you know with Kevin how many views we're on the different YouTubes that you've put up with Matt?
We're in the hundreds.
Yeah.
So far for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be good because I've had a realtor tell me that they look for this kind of stuff when they start putting up listings now.
Mhm.
Events in town, whether or not there was any overview, then, all of it. I mean, it's not just a Google Earth. They're looking for that kind of stuff. So that'll be good. So we need to get it out to that network of people if we can. So.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Great
Chief.
job.
Chief Kilborn has a quick overview of a school is starting. Has started, I should say.
Yes, today was the first day of school for District 300. I just wanted to review for you real quickly what we're doing in cooperation with District 300 for school safety this year. In the consent agenda, you approved a renewal of the school resource officer agreement between us and District 300. And that took a couple months for Hart Passman, myself, and the school district to go back and forth on language and make sure that both sides were getting what they needed, and we worked real well together with that. District 300 is a new safety officer. As you know, about 3 months ago, we said goodbye to Gary Chester. Todd Rowing has stepped up. Todd was a ISP commander, and we worked with Todd as a police department when Todd was in town with some of the units, the ISP units. So we know Todd, and we've worked well. Today, I think I talked to Todd 3 times today on the phone because of the first day of school. Good news is no real problems today. Buses were slow, but that's to be expected. And parents are still learning the drop-off and pick-up at the different schools. But in cooperation with District 300, and that includes our school resource officers, our detectives, and our patrol officers, we're targeting 3 different issues this year. First is school bus safety, because a great majority of our students are bused to the schools. Number 2 is bullying. The target for bullies are mostly middle school students, but it occurs in elementary and occurs in high school. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, and maybe more importantly, because it has a larger effect on the community, is safe and respectful driving by our teen students. And safe and respectful driving includes distracted driving, texting and driving, reckless driving, DUIs, and then also encompasses the fact that our high school drivers are all new drivers. The oldest is going to have a license for maybe a little more than 2 years. And so we need to put an emphasis on teaching them those habits right from the beginning to make the road safe for them and for the rest of the community that they're driving on. So those are the three targets that we'll be working together with District 300 and addressing in our schools to make the schools and the communities around them safer. Any questions on that? I then have the C4 committee coming up to give a short presentation on what we've been doing over the last about 8 months. Ricardo? And I'm going to step aside and grab some pictures for our social media page, so you'll have to excuse me.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving us the opportunity of being here. As the Chief mentioned, my name's Ricardo Gasca, and sure, Terry. And my partner here in crime is Terry. But before I continue, I would like also to address our peers who are our collaboration there. We have Diana Hernandez from District 300 here. We have Sonia Rios from Ren Center. We have Daryl Stewart from Ren Center as well. Griselda Hernandez from Elgin Police Department. We have Officer...
Carpentersville.
I'm sorry.
Thought she left.
I told you I was going to do it. I told you.
Mike didn't tell us.
Griselda Hernandez from Carpentersville. Officer Joe Filarski.
Carpentersville.
Faith also, and Pastor Ball. So these are the gentlemen that were part of the coalition that we have. And also Don Burway, thank you for supporting us, definitely. But you know, our vision is to create a safe and healthy environment for the residents of Carpentersville. And our mission is, once again, to providing support, education, and resource on the dangers of and consequences of substance abuse through teamwork and compassion. Over the past 8 years, I want to first of all also thank you for giving an opportunity to Griselda Hernandez and Officer Pilarski for attending a CADCA conference in Washington, D.C., which really was, it's a demonstration, or give them a better understanding of the potential of collaborative work and working as coalitions. And one of the power about, you know, as we mention all the time, it takes a village to raise a child. And that's what we need in our community. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to address an issue that a lot of times is just pushed to the side and it's not addressed. So we're slowly but surely, we've been part of the community. We started working with National Night Out, you know, provided table, brochures, information. You know, we work with parents, we work with teens. It's very important that we distribute information for all ages to be aware. Also, I have information about our monthly meetings here. The good thing is, you know, we do English and Spanish as well, and we're trying to promote our community needs as well. So slowly but surely, we are really building our coalition, and our goal is in January we'll start applying for a Drug-Free Communities grant, which is $125,000 per year. And then it could be the first year, it's 5-year period, and then we can extend it another 5 years, and we can have it for 10 years. Currently, Elgin has this DFC grant, and we would like Carpentersville to address. Once again, when we talk about substance abuse prevention, a lot of times we think that it's just focusing on providing education on substance abuse, on the actual drug. Well, the way prevention nowadays, it works with bullying, self-esteem, communication, respect, goals, you know, all the social skills that around that really empower our community, our youth, and that will get them in the right direction in making good decisions. So that's our direction that our coalition would like to go. But right now, we also would like to introduce Terry, who was, you know, the actual founder that we opened the doors for us, and just to give a little brief history of how this started, how it came across, and thank you. Here you go, Terry. So thank you.
Thank you.
I got your back.
Thanks. I broke my shoulder in October. I'm still kind of nervous. Hi, my name's Terry Dudar. I'm over 40-year resident of Carpentersville. I've met some of you before. Some of you may know I lost my son to an accidental heroin overdose in 2008. And that began my journey of trying to help others. And there wasn't a lot of support out there, and I felt very alone when he was struggling and after he passed. So I've rallied around Carpentersville holding signs and just trying to show people I'm here for them for 7 years. And then 3 years ago, I came here and I asked if we could use the front lawn, and unanimously you said yes. I thank you to that day. This year will be our 3rd year that we will hold an event out there. Thank you, Trustee Don, because you contacted me first and wanted to know kind of what I was doing, and hooked me up with Chief Kilborn wherever he went.
He has her back.
Okay. And so from there, so last year after our event, I was contacted by the Run Center, and they wanted to meet with me. And they have what I call a gift for Carpentersville. They called it a $65,000 grant. I called it a gift. And they wanted to help the youth here from 11 to 18 years old with substance abuse prevention. But they didn't know where to go. Well, since I had kind of known Chief Kilborn already and Trustee Burroway, I contacted them. We met with Chief Kilborn, and we decided to start forming C4. So that's just a little history of how it came about. I want to thank the Wren Center immensely from our village, and also to all the trustees and the board members for supporting us, for allowing us to use the Public Works building. We meet there monthly, and we appreciate that. And if you know anybody, we are a support group. J2 Soon is. So we support anybody who has lost a loved one or has somebody suffering because of the stigma and shame. People tend to hide and suffer alone, and so we want them to know that they're not alone, and we're here for them. And I also am trained to train in the lock zone. So if anybody needs training, as well as the Run Center, we can
I'm a trainer too.
do training. So thank you so much again. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone from the public is welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for the proclamation. Tomorrow's my son's birthday.
Oh.
August 31st, is that the date?
Yeah.
For the event?
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
That would conclude the managers and staff report. President Skillman.
Okay, commission reports. You want to start off, Don, please?
Sure. Again, thank you to the C4 participants here. Really appreciate that. It was a heartfelt, from the heart kind of thing, and I really appreciate that. Because that's what this is. This is grassroots. This is its basic form here. And this is what this kind of problem needs. This overdose and heroin and opioid abuse, drug abuse, that's where it comes from. All the governments in the world can say crack down on drugs, but it's the grassroots organization that really gets in there, that puts the boots on the ground and does what they can to prevent this from really getting out of hand, even though it's at epidemic levels already. Because it's a conglomeration of people. We have clergy, we have police department, we have a rent center, we have a very basic Jason Too Soon here, we have the village involved, all these private citizens involved. So it's all coming together, and we've already had a lot of back and forth during our meetings about how to structure this, and that's what we've been doing a lot, and we continue to do that and continue to look for ways to build. And it's coming along pretty good. And again, I invite everybody in Carpentersville to come to our C4 meeting in September 4th? 14th. September 14th, 7 o'clock at the Public Works. Thank you again. One special thanks to Joseph Pilarski. Thank you, Joe, for participating in this. It really meant a lot to us going to that class and in Washington, and really appreciate doing all that. As far as other commissions, Jelke's Creek Fox River Watershed Coalition met yesterday. I hate to go on and just take up time, but there was a couple of things that came out of it. They really like our projects that we completed with our signs that we put up, and they really had pictures of them, and it looks good. Looks really good. Thank you, Kevin, for your getting that project completed. I appreciate it. We also had a couple of guests, and they actually joined. One was from Dundee Township, Katie Meyer and Karen Miller from Cook County, that have joined the coalition, the Watershed Coalition, because it's nice to get those people involved. They can help us out in a lot. Obviously, we don't we don't get too many contributions, so but they can help us out through their organizations. And one of the things that was brought to my attention was by Karen Miller from the King County offices, excuse me, was that they're setting up a waterway trail on the river. They're studying all the way from the Wisconsin border all the way down to Ottawa, I believe, the Fox River, and they're like a bike trail. They're going to have a waterway trail. And I thought that was kind of neat. You know, they're looking at launches and where they can launch canoes or kayaks or whatever, that type of thing. So they're doing an inventory of all the launches along the river, and also some environmental things that they're looking at too. You know, how deep's the water? Is there enough flow? All kinds of things. So if you do take a trip by canoe down the river, just for fun or whatever, recreation, there is a place to send your opinion to, and that's just Kane County. I got the website here, foxriverecosystem.org/trail.htm. You can contact them at that website and fill out a little survey, and I have a copy of it here, and it just asks you questions about, what kind of access there was. Did you have fun? Was it a good time? Was it signage and stuff like that. So you can get that survey at that website. So if you do take a trip down, please feel free to do that. Give them some data to work on. That's all I have for reports tonight. I appreciate
Nothing on Quadcom? No. Quadcom, nothing?
Quadcom. September Quadcom, Chief. I'm sorry.
Nothing to report, though? No. So.
Okay. It's in September. I'll have it for you.
Okay. Trustee Humphord.
Business Development will have a meeting next Tuesday at 5 o'clock up on the second floor of this building. All are welcome to attend. We do have you were given today some new businesses that have come to town, so that's it's in front of you. So I don't want to, if I could, just name a few of them, if that's okay.
Take that from me, that's fine.
All right, I'll let you do that. Presents coming.
No, really, seriously.
I'm more than happy to let you do it.
We need to discuss it, because this is something that I've been asking for, and this is what we want this information out. And actually, Patrick and Kelly are working on trying to get them here so they can get their business license.
Exactly.
We can get them here to talk about their business, and then we can, all go there and spend money there, right?
Mhm.
That's the whole purpose of,
it.
I mean,
Yes.
the restaurant opened today, a soft opening, and I got a text from someone saying, hey, come on over, have a euro, and I'm like, what are you talking about, So,
The new Mediterranean restaurant on the east side.
no, the new Euro place. The new Euro place opened, a soft opening today. So.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So we need to get that information out. I mean, instead of me getting a text from somebody driving down Route 31, so, but we can talk about that some more, Mr. Burke.
Yeah. But it's really exciting. We're seeing a lot of development in town, a lot of interest in the town. Things like the drone help, organizations like what you're working on, Don, those help as well. It's really nice to see. So if anybody wants to attend next week, 5 o'clock, love to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Rayberg.
So we have our fiscal year 2018 budget kickoff meeting on September 12th. That's at 6:30 in the Public Works Building. We will be a couple of the larger items. There will be a review or a reconciliation of the first 6 months of 2017 budget versus actual, and then we're going to look at the overall fiscal projections for the final 6 months and look at the overall picture of 2017. Particularly the tax revenue for 2017. Try to figure out where that's going to land and how that will affect capital expenditures. Again, that's September 12th, 6:30.
Thank you. Trustee Schultz.
Just wanted to give a little recap and thank you for everyone that participated, staff, for the Civil War event. It was another successful event. Saturday, they drew a very large crowd. They sent me pictures. At one point, some of the guys needed to cross the path to get on the other side, and the paths were so full of people that they had a hard time, which it was good. They were glad to see it. And Sunday was a little lighter, but as President Skillman knows, we had this cloud that looked like it might open up, and I'm not sure if that kept a few folks away. But it was very nice. They added a few extra things. They've got more things they want to offer next year, but they've got more ideas than they have hours in the weekend. So it was very nice, and a big thank you to everyone that helped out. We send out letters to all the vendors thanking them for participating, so those will be going out when Bob gets back from vacation. And overall, I think it was a really great event. The one thing that I noticed was that a lot of people were stopping me, and they were surprised once they started walking through the park, just how nice it really did look. The basketball court, the playground, and I think that really helped. I had one lady that stopped me. She's interested in bringing, she said she has a band that's larger than the 1st Brigade band that she'd love to bring to Carpenter Park. Today in our consent agenda, Carpentersville Middle School, they're going to be doing the cross country. Thank you. Using the pass for some of that, and as we already know, Carpentersville Middle also they enjoy the park in the spring. At the end of the school year, they do their summer jazz concert. Their spring jazz concert and their orchestra concert. We've got the Dundee Park District that's interested now. We are certainly, as a committee, going to be looking at a lot of other events, and I really think it opened a lot of people's eyes to just how well the paths, people couldn't say enough about them. And I think it had to do, we saw people with wheelchairs, walkers, even baby strollers, and they were able just to navigate around so well. I think it was the best thing that we could have done in that park, to be honest with you. And I want to say thank you to the resident that dropped off to Kelly some great pictures. I wish I had her name. I'd like to personally say thank you. The first one, I'll pass them around, is adorable, with the little boy saluting. The guys from the Civil War unit could not say enough about Carpentersville, about President Skillman, about the board, the staff, Public Works, and they have the biggest event in Illinois is in Minooka, Illinois, and I think that's in September. Last year, for you, President Skillman and Trustee Lawrence, they came in November after that event, they did a little survey within their large network of Civil War, and we were rated the second highest event in the state, to be honest with you. Manuka is huge, so, but as some of you may have remembered, they want to do that same survey again. Their goal, as far as they're concerned, is that at some point where they want to surpass Manuka. So, which tells me they've got a lot of ideas and a vested interest here, and so I really wanted to thank them. They did a great job this year. Those battles were 22 minutes long at the end. They really went all out, so it was really great. So, and again, thank you to the resident for the pictures. She felt like, I guess there wasn't enough positive, she thought, things being said, which is too bad. So I know we tried. I didn't meet anyone that wasn't happy with it. So so it was really great. But I'll start at this end. And our next meeting, we'll be talking about. We'll do a little recap, as we always do, of an event, and then we're going to be hosting a fall festival on October 14th. It'll be a Saturday for a few hours. It's in the planning stages. Now that we have this behind us, we'll be able to ramp up and get that planned, and hopefully make that as a big success also. So, and another great event in Carpentersville. Next special events meeting is on August 23rd, I believe. It's a Wednesday at 6:30 at Public Works. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Isn't there a car show or something this weekend? I thought I.
Oh, pardon me. I'm so sorry.
I
yeah.
got that.
Yeah. Do you have that?
Yeah, I just wrote.
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I didn't know if that was a parks thing. Okay.
No, but
Not
it's
really.
part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of our committee members did. So thank you very much. Oh, and by the way, I should mention too, big thank you to Bob Cole and Public Works for those of us that were able to attend. The reopening of Carpenter Park was a very nice event. Nice shout out to Commission member Mary Zisman, who dressed up as Mary Carpenter Lord,
That was fun.
and she did a great job, and it was really just a nice event, yeah, to have that. So thank you very much. Oh, thanks.
Thank you, Pat. Yeah, definitely. I had lots of great comments on the Civil War event. Thank you, Pat. Pat did a lot of work on it, obviously, and the commission and the group of Parks Committee. Yeah, just a reminder, this weekend, Rock the Fox is happening, so everybody please come out and help out with that. And also, again, like I said, talking about new businesses, I know Trustee Humford talked about it for a minute. And I just wanted to bring up, I do have a list here, new businesses that opened. Stacy's Place it's a gaming cafe on Main Street, opened up. How do you say that? Kuka Industries opened up on Commerce. It's a robotic actually, we did our walk over there, our business, what do we call it? Business retention visit, thank you. And we got to learn a lot about the company. They're all robots that do car manufacturing and stuff like that. So it's kind of it's a huge company. Superior Diesel Repair and Performance opened up in Lake Marion. The Pit Stop on Huntley Road, it's the gas station basically, but they reopened, called the Pit Stop for oil changes. Jay's Nail and Spa on Randall Road. Q88 used to be Kiku, the Chinese restaurant that reopened, and they remodeled inside, I believe. And then today, the soft opening of the new Euro place. It's actually Southern Belle, the same owner, so they're the same group of people that opened up. So they're located where Just Dog used to be. So they'll be having a grand opening. They told me today with the Chamber of Commerce, so we'll let everybody know. We'll shoot out an email so everybody knows when it is. So
Q88 over where Kiko's used to be is advertising that they're selling pho, which is a great Vietnamese soup, especially if you're sick. It does the trick. It will really clear out your sinuses. I mean, I highly recommend it if you have a cold.
Yeah.
So.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. All right, so moving on. Anybody have any more comments? Okay, we'll move forward. Any old business, Kelly?
None.
Okay. New business. I'm looking for a motion on considering an ordinance approving and planned unit development on a final plat of subdivision for a mixed-use building and a new parking lot at 256 South Washington Street.
I'll motion to pass this.
I'll second.
Resolution.
Motion, trustee Humphers, second, trustee Sabi. Any discussion? I mean,
This is milk specialties, right?
You want to?
Yes.
You want to provide an overview first?
quick overview.
John Spalanka
There
from
you go.
our planning department and representing the zoning board of appeals. John?
Yeah, just a quick overview. Auto Engineering, I'm sure you've all seen that they are remodeling the former Milk Specialties building. This approval will allow them to construct the parking lot all in the back. They went through the Planning and Zoning Commission because they requested some variations regarding landscaping, similar to what they've done in all their other parking lots. And there's also a plat of subdivision because they're changing the lot lines to swap some property with the Forest Preserve District. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of it unanimously. One other thing I just want to point out for the board and for the residents, there will be likely one day where Washington Street is closed completely to traffic. So we have a detour route planned. The village will work with RevCorps to make sure they won't have trucks going through the residential neighborhood, and we will post it on the village's website.
Great, excellent.
John, a quick question. That small parking lot that's by the canoe launch there, that's part of their parking lot, is it not?
No, it's not.
It's not?
Across the
So is that something who owns that currently then? Is that Tom?
So it is owned by Otto, but it's not
Okay.
part of this project. This is all where the former Golden Bag building was demolished.
Okay, so it's in the back part.
Milk
Okay,
Specialties,
so
yeah.
that parking lot still going to be available for those that go down by the canoe launch and fish? Or
I don't know. It's not
is he-
proposed to change as part of this.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay, thanks.
When he redevelops the rest of the property, it may change.
Yes.
The list of
Trustee Humphreys.
oh,
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
You got people out there.
Oh.
Okay.
But that's a village partnering with Tom Roser, the owner of the building,
Right,
to
okay.
change that parking.
Okay, all right.
Because it's part of the beautification of the river.
Okay.
The list of recommendations that you've requested, have you gone over those yet with Otto?
Yes. So there's a larger than normal number of recommendations.
There are.
Part of that is because they've requested to have a banquet hall. The property is zoned industrial, where that use is not allowed. We do, however, are allowed in the commercial zoning district, and so those conditions would be automatic in the commercial zoning district. So we just added them all on here to be sure that they comply with those. They don't have a user at this point. They're just requesting that approval because it's convenient to do through the PUD.
Mhm.
The other conditions are kind of standard for engineering and landscaping to be subject to staff review.
Mhm.
And then all the exceptions, most of those, like I said, are landscaping, and we've issued similar ones before.
And on some of those recommendations, is that, I guess some of them seemed a little operational to the to what's going to happen there. Is that common on within a governmental unit to request those types of recommendations?
And
or-
actually, those conditions, what's common is that they're just enacted in the ordinance.
Mhm.
So like I said, in a commercial district, we wouldn't have to list
So you're
them.
highlighting those out of the ordinance and bringing
Right,
those forward?
because
Okay.
because of the fact that it's a manufacturing district, not a commercial district.
Got it,
Normally, we
okay.
wouldn't do those level of
Okay.
conditions.
I was a little confused by some of those recommendations because it seemed a little bit out of the ordinary.
Well, and that's the unique part of why they've done it as a PUD, because they've combined the two zoning districts. And for Mr. Roser's benefit, he asked for different conditions and exceptions up front. So if the banquet facility happens, he does not have to go through the process a second time.
Okay, perfect.
So these are straight out of the ordinance, what would be required for commercial districts.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, John. So we have a motion and a second on the floor. So roll call, please.
Trustee Sabi?
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg?
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Trustee Humper?
Yes.
Trustee Burroway?
Yes.
And Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes. Motion approved. Thank you. All right, our second item on new business, an ordinance amending section 13.08.020 of the Carpentersville Municipal Code is amended regarding water and sewer usage fees. Can I have a
This is
motion?
where I motion.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to motion with an amendment to this, changing it from a 3% increase next year to a 2% increase, and no language speaking to a commitment beyond this year, beyond fiscal 2018.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Rayberg, and a second by Trustee Sabi. Some discussion, please.
And if I may, President Skillman, for the record and to clarify the nature of the amendment, the ordinance that was presented and placed on your agenda sets forth amendments to the village code that would reflect a 3% increase in the rate for each September 1st of each of the next 3 years, 17, 18, and 19. And it's reflected in a dollars and cents amount, not as a percentage. The amendment, the motion that's on the floor now, as presented by Trustee Rayberg, I want to clarify just what that amendment would look like, and if it's approved, we'll make the change and have it coordinated through the village clerk's office tomorrow. There's language in your code that has amendments specifically to sections 13.08020 C and D. Sections C 4 and 5 and D 4 and 5 would be deleted entirely because those reflect 2018 and 19 amendments. As to section C3, the dollar amount beginning September 1st, reflecting a 2% rate for water, would be $5.54, and the dollar amount for sewer under section D3 would be $5.31. So that's the language that would appear in the approved ordinance if this motion is approved.
But it is, the math is 2%.
Correct. That's exactly right. Yeah. That's right. I want it to be clear for the record and to ensure compliance with state laws on how ordinances are adopted. It won't say 3 or 2% in the village code. Right. It will reflect a dollar and cents number, and I want it to be clear what those numbers will be if this motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes. Discussion.
So, you want to strike the language going forward, right, for the subsequent years?
The equipment, yeah, the commitment to the second and third year.
Okay. So, at the end of this year's increase, or when that goes into effect, how do you start that conversation again then?
It goes back through audit and finance.
Okay, we don't have to get Baxter Woodman to do another study, do we?
No,
no.
Okay, that's what I'm asking, so I wanted to make sure. No. So it's just,
believe so, no.
we get through 1 year and then we have discussion for the next year and look at it that way then?
And then if we
yeah, I mean,
3 years again, right? We could decide what we want as a board.
Yeah. That's correct. And if this motion is approved, you would be changing the rate effective September 1st.
Right.
There would be nothing teed up beyond that. That rate would continue forward until such time as this board amends the code again. That can be a year from now, and that amendment, whenever it comes, can be whatever the board decides it will be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine that the list of priorities that were laid out by Baxter Woodman, it's not that fluid of a list. I mean, number 1 is going to stay number 1. Number 2 is pending any type of catastrophe or anything like that. So, you know, as far as the investment that we put into prioritizing the infrastructure, I think that's still that there's still plenty of integrity behind that moving forward as what we can work off as our document of what we expect to spend. It's just a matter of when we're going to spend it to get to hit those benchmarks.
Go ahead, Paul.
Without doing this, if we just do the 2% for the 1 year, has anybody looked in at what the future impact on the operations of the water fund will look like? Are we going to run in the red again? Is that the intent here? I'm asking you guys.
In 1 year, it will not. It'll just have to be addressed in the out years. There is no need, to worry about that. Staff will adjust our CIP and the budget for the out years on approved projects that you'll be doing as part of the budget for 2018. We'll have to adjust some of the spending in the out years and what projects we start.
This is a problem we ran into several years ago when we did this, when we kept kicking the can down the road. Our operating fund for water and sewer was running in the red and eating up the assets on an annual basis. We make ourselves susceptible that if something bad or catastrophic happens, we're not going to be able to cover it. And I'm just curious, have you looked at that in a little bit more detail to make sure that we have enough assets there to be able to protect the village should something bad happen? And I think we're in good shape as far as the age. The spinners that we use in the water treatment plant are new, so I don't have a lot of concerns there, as well as the filtration system in the water plant. I mean, we have six wells going now. I don't anticipate, and those are fairly new too. I think we're approaching 10 years on those, but I think their life is like 30 years, 40 years. I just want to make sure that the system has good integrity going down the road to be able to address those capital needs by not doing this and pulling back and possibly leaving it flat beyond this first year.
Yeah, well, at Audit and Finance, there were no projects that were identified as things that needed to be done immediately, correct? They were, these are the things that are in the queue, prioritized, but none of these things are infrastructure critical projects to day-to-day operations.
Any suggestions with the change in policy relative to the water system paying for water-related projects, pipes underground, sewer pipes underground? Is that still the intent of the fund, to continue to provide enough funding to be able to make sure that those things are addressed as they age?
Yeah, I mean, that's always been the objective of an enterprise fund, right? It has to sustain itself.
Okay.
Definitely. Personally, I think we need to look at, at it a little closer and a little, tighten it up. I think we tightened it up a little, but I think a little more discussion at Audit and Finance next time. I mean, but we needed to get something done for our staff so they can start moving forward here. But I believe we definitely need to talk a lot more about it. And like Pat said, so we're ready for next year. Bring it back to Audit and Finance and have some good discussions on it, and make sure we know where we're going. So,
I just think, Paul, you raised a lot of good questions there. It definitely needs to be looked at closer. That's one of the things that kind of caught me by surprise today, is just seeing this at the last moment. I wish I would have had a little bit more headway or leeway into it so I could have some thoughts on it. But yeah, there's a lot of questions to be asked. I really don't like kicking things down the road. We haven't taken that stance in other things that have gone in the village, because we knew that there was so much to be done with the roads and such like that. And I'd like to see how this affects the long term here, because we know we got a lot of stuff to do that maybe is not critical right now, but is critical. It's going to be critical, I think. I think one of the things that we need to look at too is that interconnect, that second interconnect, and the replacement of the water main that needs to be. That's a public safety issue right there. That needs to be expanded from 4 inches to 12 inches for the new pumping regulations for fire. That to me would be something that would need to be put on the front burner. Now, will this affect that? Probably not. Do we have an estimate of what this would cost, a cost analysis or anything like that? As far as what's this going to mean in a decline of revenue from
the 3% going to 2% is in 1 year. It is only going to be about 65, 70,000, depending on water usage. Usage
Okay.
estimated. So it's 1 year, and as I think the motion is to just address it at Audit and Finance in the out years, whether you do 1 year each year or do it in a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan. It makes it easier for the staff to plan CIP projects.
Sure.
And get commitments if we have that. But we'll still do the planning, and the board will decide what is prioritized in the 18-19 budget with
Okay.
CIP, with the capital improvement plan for those at home.
Just one final thing. I kind of concur with Don. As a trustee, I have no problem with the 2%, but I don't like doing it the Mike Madigan way, where here it is, and you're going to vote on it in a few minutes. I wanted some advance notice about this. I agree with Dan. I mean, we'll have more discussion in audit and finance, I'm sure, about this, but I felt like it was sprung on a few of us, and
I agree, and I asked for, in our last meeting, I asked for documentation and never received it. So my vote tonight.
Can we table it?
We need to get it, well, from my understanding, we need to get some in place by September 1st. So,
We can do the 1 year, you're just doing 1 year.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, you know, it's unpopular. I get it. You
Really?
know, it's very unpopular, but there's a reason why we're up here. And these decisions are difficult. And I've gone through a couple of these rate studies, and yeah, you know what? I'm pretty good at Excel, and I could find holes and stuff and call attention to it and identify how they determine that amount. But our financial statements over time are not going to lie about what's going on there. And that financial statement for the water fund, for the sewer fund, has improved with that unpopular decision to raise rates several years ago. And it's going, you know, the health of it's in good shape. It's moving that way. It's still not where it needs to be, based on what we've been told by not only our auditors, who cited it as a management letter comment in past years, by us not putting rate increases in place so that it did cover that system. You're talking about a different accounting system with our water and sewer fund. It's a gap accounting, where on, you know, our general funds and our other funds are different types of funds. So it's run like a business. Like I said, I get it. It's unpopular to raise rates, but it has to sustain itself. It's one of the core things we do for the village is provide water and sewer, and that's pretty, you know, that's, I think, a very important responsibility and one not to take lightly.
Absolutely.
It's right up there with police and fire, and as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, just cautionary, there is some thinking behind those rate studies that determine what those amounts are, but the real proof is looking back at our financial statements and seeing when we were having problems, looking at running in the red and using assets to pay for operations, which is not a good way to go. And you're gonna end up like the state of Illinois and looking at junk sale bonds. And I just caution you on that. So.
Absolutely.
No, thank you. That's a great lesson that we need. You have to come to Audit and Finance. You can talk to us. Seriously. No, but thank you very much for that. So we would need to call for a roll call, please. Kelly.
This is for the amended.
Yes. The motion on the table would be the only change would be changing it effective September 1st, 2017, reflecting a 2% rate over the current.
Documentation.
No further changes would be approved at this time.
Motion to do that.
there's no way we can table this, and, yeah, I mean, I understand, yeah.
Motion to table if there's a second.
Yeah.
And if may I say, if it's up to, well, I'll wait.
Go ahead, Howard.
I'm
if
sorry,
you've got-
I should say, if there is a motion, I would recommend it be a motion to continue the matter, not
All
to
right,
table it.
all right.
And if it's made and seconded, then.
That's very good advice, by the way.
And for the, so you know, I think you know this, but if no action is taken, the current rate will continue until such time as this board changes it. There's no legal obligation. I know that there is a planning desire, there is a financial desire to determine what the rate will be going forward. But from legally, you will take action when and as you see fit.
So if we made it 2% tonight, and they decided, you know what, it needs to be 3%, could that be another motion on another
Yes.
meeting? It's
Yes.
not set in stone for a year.
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. It's a legislative decision on the board. As long as an amending ordinance is properly placed on your agenda, you can do it at any meeting.
You can do that, Jeff, but it's probably not going to happen. You're
Right.
probably going to wait to the year and then
Right.
look at it again.
So we can talk about it some more.
Exactly, if you want. I know, you know.
I mean, Manager Rooney, I mean, you can give some comments on your thoughts on this. I mean, you know, we talked about it, and it's not, we're not going to go out of business. You know,
No,
we're still going to flow water. Everyone's going to have a shower, and
right.
you know.
We understand.
So, and the toilets are going to flush.
We're
but
still going to have a shower. I
So-
love it.
we really need to, you know, to get this done. And I think that, you know, if we want to keep raising our rates, then we need to come down somewhere else, right? That's why the people are here tonight, you know. And this is, we talked to businesses, Pat, Mr. Burke and I were out talking to businesses about this. I mean, you know, the chemical plant uses a lot of water. It's a huge increase for them.
Exactly.
I mean, that they have to budget. We need to get this done. They need to budget now, September 1st. They're waiting for our answer right now as we sit here. That's why Pat's here. So you can tell them tomorrow morning what we did, and so they can plan their budget for the next year. So that's the importance of it. But it's a huge, you know, it's a huge increase for those people.
I
Some
totally
people
agree.
don't use a lot of water. I understand it's not a big deal.
I totally agree. It's good points. Businesses have to plan.
Yeah, I mean,
and I get it. It's unpopular, but let's just do the 2% now and
that's what I
and look at it in a year.
Okay, so we have a roll call, please. Kelly.
Trustee Rayberg?
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence?
No.
Trustee Humfer?
No. Yes.
Trustee Burroway?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
I'll vote yes, but on the condition that this does not happen again, that any time that something like this comes up, all of us need to know at the same time, not a select few.
And Trustee Savi?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Trustee reports. Trustee Humfer.
Thank you. So you guys probably missed me last meeting. I was on vacation for a destination wedding for my nephew down in Dominican Republic. It was awesome. I didn't miss you guys, so no, I'm kidding. It was a lot of fun, and I was sad I wasn't here. So, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the C4, the presentation that happened earlier today and earlier tonight, and it's really nice to see this group come together and really making a difference in town, and hopefully we can make people aware and prevent, you know, some overdoses from happening, and I think that is through awareness. So very happy with that. And as President Skillman mentioned, Tri-Cities Little League had 2 teams. I've been getting screamed at in Woodman's by some of the moms that I used to work with over at Tri-Cities as tournament director. We won, you know, and I think the last time we outright won state was probably in the early 90s. I think the 9 to 10-year-olds won state. Now, 2 years ago, you remember that whole debacle with Jackie Robinson. We actually finished second place to them, so posthumously we won state that year. But it's the, you know, I don't know if posthumously is the right word to use, but you know, we did win state that year as well. But I mean, to win it outright, especially with the 11-year-olds and the 10-year-olds, the 11-year-olds are going to be the 12-year-olds next year. So that really puts them in a good spot to win state next year. And if you're watching ESPN at all, what's going on right now is the next step in the tournament. So the state of Illinois winner is playing the winners of the states of Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Kentucky, and I believe Ohio. So all of them are in Great Lakes, the Great Lakes tournament, which is down in Indianapolis, and the winner then goes to Williamsport and represents the Great Lakes area. And it's just a terrific achievement for that Little League to be able to do that. And we've provided support to the Little League for many years here, so it was really good to see. And if you catch a game, yeah, these kids are pretty amazing at 11 and 12 years old, and what they can do and how fast they're throwing and being able to hit that ball. So it was just great to see that they won state. I was like so happy when I heard that finally, outright, we won it legitimately. So it's been a while. So I'm looking forward to celebrating next meeting.
Yeah, I went to the game to see 11 and under. It was great. It was fun.
On Streamwood.
Yeah. They beat Streeter. They beat them up pretty good. So.
Did the Civil War guys? Did you bring them back? Did they do a salute to them?
The kids came on Sunday morning and bluffed cannons.
Nice.
Whole teams.
That was
Chuck
nice.
was awesome.
Yeah, that was nice.
Well, it's really a feather in the cap for the town, and especially the fact that this is Meadowdale Little League and the old Tri-Cities Little League that are together. So it's a good representation of Carpentersville. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we also did a parade too, back from Stream, or police and fire helped out with the parade.
Perfect.
From Dundee down to.
Yeah, and they use the old Meadowdale Little League field because it has lights.
Yeah.
It's a big attraction. Kids love playing under lights, so just really excited for them. It's good to see. And one team would have been great, but two to win, that's really an awesome week for that little league. So.
Can I ask a question? Next year, will they be using the new ball field?
The one in Carpenter Park? They're probably going to approach the village and ask. I know the T-ball and the softball teams use it, and then they'll use it for practice as well, but they're pretty excited to come back. They really like that field a lot because there's a lot of parking around there, and there's things for other kids to do, Not everybody plays baseball. They want to go run around the park and go on a swing set.
With the playground over there. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
But great to be back. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. That's it for me.
Thank you. Trustee Lawrence?
Flags USA and Bartlett donated 15 random acts of Carpentersville flags for us to use at future events. I received gift certificates from Bona Beef, Bed Bath & Beyond, some hair salons. The list goes on and on. What I will be doing is I will be placing those gift cards and gifts in pretty little present bags and randomly be handing them out to our public safety and some residents, and as they witness a good act happening, this person will be getting a little present, and it'll have a little card on there, which I'm also getting donated, our cards. It'll say, thank you for your random act of kindness from Random Acts of Carpentersville. And then we'll have little stickers on there that say, be kind to one another.
Nice.
Thank you. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
Trustee Schultz?
I just wanted to piggyback what you were saying, President Skillman, just to invite everybody to come out this weekend. Rock the Fox starts Friday night. First band up, I think, is Kashmir, which I hear is a great Led Zeppelin cover band.
They are good.
Yeah.
They play all over Chicago.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. They've got a few bands that they're really, Oddfellows are really proud to get this year. And also wanted to thank, I saw her earlier, she left, Sarah Miller, commission member, because she, I think through her family, is involved with car shows. And I asked Oddfellows if they'd like to have a car show, and through Sarah they were able to do it. I believe that's Sunday afternoon. I think that's the first time we might have a car show maybe down in Carpenter Park, to my knowledge. So, and we've got the parking space. We've got plenty of room, so I think it should be really nice to see some of those classic cars. So, and also wanted to thank Adam Parchert, H2O Church. I personally thought the Star Wars movies were a curse for him. Every time he tried to show one, it rained. I felt so bad for him. But I know they had it, and they've had quite a turnout, and I know he's looking forward to doing it next year, too. And that would conclude my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Rayberg?
I just want to give a congratulations to everyone that was involved in the Civil War reenactment. It was a fantastic event. It was fun to go down there. Brought my 6-year-old down there and had a 10-minute conversation with President Lincoln, which blew her away. So that was really, really neat. She went home and made his log cabin out of construction paper. So I think it's a history lesson that definitely stuck. It's pretty cool to teach kids about how someone who grew up in a log cabin can become president of the United States. So The way you can tell that an event is something good is by all these good things that come of it that you might not think of. So an event like a Civil War reenactment becomes a great opportunity for the community to educate kids on our nation's history, and that's a pretty unique thing. So thank you to Trustee Schultz and staff and everyone else who put it together.
Thank you, Trustee Sabi.
I really have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. That's nice. Trustee Burway.
I just wanted to mention at the Jelkes Creek Fox River Watershed Coalition that the members over there mentioned how nice our park looks. So I thought that was kudos for us, and thank you for all those involved in that kind of long project, but it came out good. Also, I just wanted to mention that we have C4 has a website now up and running. It's c4cville.org, and you can go there. It has lots of information about what we're all doing. Welcome back, Paul. I hope you had a great vacation. I think it's my turn now. But one thing for the residents, I guess there was a report from St. Charles about West Nile disease down there by the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are vicious. I've been out during the evening and I've gotten bitten several times. I know we sprayed once. Is there any thought to spraying again?
Public Works does more of a spraying in the manholes in a very specific location, but spraying the neighborhood, not scheduled, because we've had some discussion about a lot of kill off of the bees and the dragonflies. So we try to attack them in the storm sewers where the bees and the dragonflies and the insect world that we do not wish to kill are not exposed.
That's a good plan.
And there's some residents that are fearful of the impact to their dog or their asthma, and so we have to be a little more judicious.
Absolutely, and you got to be careful with that stuff.
But for the events in the park, they do spray the park area.
Okay, good. At least something, and wear plenty of DEET because they are nasty. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to second on the Civil War again. Actually, I talked to Chuck, and I know Pat knows about it, so next year there'll be a little more pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
We'll be blowing stuff up. So
They'll love that.
We'll probably be #1 after that. So.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But definitely a history lesson for sure. I talked to a lot of people. We talked a lot about Gettysburg, and Chief Schilling's been there, obviously, to study like I have. And it's great to talk to some of those guys down there about it. And, the first shot was fired by someone from St. Charles, Illinois, which Chuck told me. It was pretty interesting. So first shot of the war, the battle at Gettysburg, was shot by an Illinois resident from St. Charles, Illinois. So what do you...
Did he make it?
I don't know if he made it. That's a good question. So.
Well, John, we have the 52nd unit that in the Fox Valley area here many years ago when there was a fraction of the population. And on September 11th, in one day, 60 men signed up in one day from this area, which really, for the Civil War, and really stripped the area of a lot of men in that time because the population was less, So that's all at the Historical Society. There's a lot of good information there too, about it.
Yeah, we had a lot of great food vendors too. If you weren't there, so we got to check out a lot of different people from our community came out and helped out. So that was great. Also, we had root beer. I thought it was beer. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it was root beer.
It was root beer. So next year, who knows? Might be. Anyways, Rock the Fox again this weekend. You guys come on out, help them out. Let's make it a good showing, please, this year. The biggest showing ever. That's what we want to do. So we want to get that out. We'll keep forwarding it out on our Facebook and stuff. I know Chief Kilborn likes doing that for us. So, all right. So we got next item, closed session, Section 2C11 of the Open Meetings Act. I need a motion to.
Motion. I'll second.
Motion, trustee Rayberg, trustee Sabi, second, trustee Humper. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lawrence?
Yep.
Trustee Humper?
Yes.
Trustee Burraway?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
Trustee Sabi?
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries, or recess. So, and then after that, we will be coming back to, after our closed session, we'll be coming back to discuss more items.